Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my backyard, and today we're going to be cutting up some crotch, which shouldn't surprise anyone because that's almost always what we're cutting. So let's go see what we got in the pile. So today I'm thinking we're going to cut up a piece of white oak, a crotch section. This is from a load of logs. That was the first load of logs that I ever brought directly here to this property after we bought it. And they've been sitting here for, well, almost 2 years now. That's crazy how time flies. So that load had a sort of a butt log, a base section, and then it had this crotch log, and then it had this goofy crotch limb thing too. But today I'm thinking we're just gonna do this crotch because it's big and I like it. So there it is right there. We'll get some actual dimensions on it when we get it down, but it's pretty good size down there, and I bet you it splays to about 4 feet down here. So from here to here, about 4 feet. So time to get some machinery and get this thing dug out of here and see what this thing looks like, because it's been a while. I think that's pretty good as far as the, what do you want to call this, the roll. The piths here are in line, and I think this has got a pretty significant taper in it, so I think I got it up about halfway. Half the amount of taper up is generally how you want to do that, so that looks pretty good. Yeah. I'm just gonna bump over the butt a little bit and this thing should be good. Okie dokie. We got this end leveled out here, so the pits of the two crotches, the two limbs here, they're pretty close to the same height. This one's kind of curving up, this one's kind of curving down as you go further down there, but I think this is pretty well level with the where the crotch figure is gonna be. So that's that. I'm happy with that position. That's good. So for some dimensions on here and a little bit of walk around here, the splay down here is 52 inches. Our total length is 2, 4, 6, 8 feet long. And then the butt end down here is 32 inches in diameter. So a pretty decent log. That's actually a bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be. On here, we got a little burl kind of action thing going on there. And I think there's maybe another one. This is either a limb, yeah, that's an old limb. So I think the only interesting thing going on down here is that small burl, which is, in the path of our waste cut. So we're not really gonna see a whole lot of that in the slabs, but we'll see a bit of it here in the cap piece. So that can be cut away from the cap piece later and used as a burl for whatever you use a burl for, whatever you turners use those things for, the small ones. And yeah, okay, I don't know, that's about it. That's the log. Should have some good crotch. We got a little bit of a bulge going on the underside here, and that's looking promising. So I think we should see some pretty good crotch feather in this thing, and it should be a pretty darn awesome log. So I'm gonna make a surfacing cut, a skimming cut, just to get myself something more flat and stable to reference off of. And then we'll flip the log over and we'll do all of our cuts from this side down and kind of work that way. So time to get the saw running, make that cut, and then flip this bad boy over, and then we'll be ready to saw. And saw and saw and saw. So let's take a little look at this burl here. We got a little bit of fun stuff going on around there. And we have the this one little nail right here that she went through. No big deal. And there is the rest of the burl. So kind of a fun little bit of figure up around there. Nothing particularly super duper crazy, but kind of fun. And then where's that nail at? Down here somewhere? There it is. A little bit more over here too. Nothing crazy. Oh, there we go. Some more up on this guy here. And a little bit more, kind of a little baby burl action going on there too. So yeah, a little bit of interest in this thing, but as you can see, this is all clear through here. So there's probably not gonna be a whole lot of weird stuff going on in this tree or this log, except for the little bit of burls here and there. This should all be clear. And then we should have some crotch figure above there. So let's get this thing rolled over. So this log is a little bit goofier than I kind of thought. It is significantly bigger down here than it is down there. It's like it basically tapers down in like this way. So yeah, it's the same. It's pretty good this way, but as you go down this way from top and bottom, how we have it oriented right now, it gets a little bit goofy. So this is the blade height that I need right here, which takes a huge chunk out of this side, just to get down into here so that I am cleaned up a little bit into this little nubbin thing here and cleaned up there at the crotch, so I have something to actually like bear down on the ground as this thing is sitting there drying. So I'm gonna make this cut right here, but for the waste piece, that cap piece, I'm gonna put it into my pile of recoverable stuff, and then when I'm kind of in the mood, it'll get sliced up into more stuff. It's not going to be a full length thing either, which when you start getting with like oh, I want to save all this stuff. Well, it comes at the cost of lower uniformity. So this is not going to be a full 8-foot piece now. This is going to be like a 6-footer, and it will be, you know, you can maybe get 2 pieces of 4/4 out of it, one that's 10 inches wide, and then one that's like 6 inches wide. But the 6-inch wide one's probably only going to go 4 feet down because it's tapered in that direction too. So you end up with 2 boards that are different lengths, and then you got to kind of finagle those into a stack somewhere. So I got a lot of random stuff. So when I'm cutting, probably when I'm cutting smaller logs in a 4/4, I'll cut a bunch of this too, and I can mix it in the stack and play the Jenga game then. So that's where this log is at. We're going to make this cut, and then we'll see kind of where we're at. Got a few more little burls in there too. That one and one there. So I've been getting a lot of questions about the blades on here and if I'm still using the carbide blades, and that's what this is here. This is I think I put this on last fall sometime, probably before I started cutting the last batch of workbench kits. And it's still cutting. It's not in the best shape though, so you can hear there's a section here somewhere where it's missing a few teeth, so you can hear the cyclical nature of that section being dragged through, and then the first tooth after the missing teeth grabbing. So you can hear that. It's not cutting as well as it used to as far as speed goes. It's still cutting perfectly flat and fine, and it's cut through quite a bit of crap and logs already. So yeah, I'm not going to be going back to anything but carbide, I don't think, ever. The bimetal is nice because it gives you sort of like an intermediary. It can get through foreign objects and then make it out through the cut, but then you probably aren't going to be cutting a whole lot after that. This one, you just cut through whatever you want, and they just kind of wear out, I think, over time. You lose teeth here and there, and they get chipped or damaged, or you cut completely through a 1/4-inch tube. There we go, a 1/4-inch wall, 2-inch square tube with it. That's the blades on there right now, and you're still cutting. What we just cut, 50 something inches wide probably. Maybe not there yet, but 40, well over 40 inches wide in white oak, and it's still cutting flat. That's the biggest thing with these blades is like as soon as they get damaged, especially the standard blades where the teeth are bent, they have bending to do their set. As soon as you lose that set on there, a little bit of that bend on those teeth, it will want to walk because one side is set more than the other side, and then it's going to cause it to want to go wherever until it writes itself out. This one with the teeth on there, the teeth are what gives it the set. The teeth are bigger than the band. That's how they achieve the set on here. So as long as the teeth are there, cutting that full path, it's not going to want to do this, which is super nice. So yeah, most of these teeth are still there, which is nice. I probably will change this out pretty soon as I get into some of these bigger logs, but you know, this one I could probably just keep around for cutting what I'll call small stuff for quite a long while. It's still got, that hurts. That's still on there. It's still got some teeth. Yeah, here's one that's chipped, and this one's still full. So, you know, eventually you just kind of wear them out. Yeah, there's one that's missing completely. So even when it's missing that much, it has that much damage on it, it still cuts, which I'm a fan of. That's nice. Ugh, jeez. Oh. I always forget how much heavier white oak is. I've been cutting like silver maple lately, and that's very different than this. That's nice. All right, let's see what number one's got going for us here. Splish splash. Someone's taking a bath, and that someone's me and my camera. So number one, not a whole heck of a lot going on here, pretty clear. This is the start of one of those burls we saw on the other face. This is the start of that other burl on the other face. Otherwise, not a whole heck of a lot going on here. It's clear and wood. What more do you want? I know what I want. Crotch. Okay, here's another common question that I get quite a bit. It's, doesn't throwing water on these slabs harm them in some way? Well, take a look at this. Look how much moisture is still in here. This thing is soaking wet still. Throwing a bucket of water on here and getting the surface a little wet is going to do absolutely nothing to this because it is so saturated with moisture still that anything I put on it now has absolutely no impact on the moisture content inside of here because it is still fully saturated. Even after having this slab or this log sitting for almost 2 years, look how much moisture is in here still. It's soaking wet. You can see the outside has dried a little bit, just right here. That's where the drying kind of stops. It made it that far into the log, 2 inches. and then everything past that is still fully saturated. This is not like a band in the wood where like the sapwood stops or something. The sapwood stops here. This is heartwood, and this is moisture all through here. So this log is still fully saturated after sitting for 2 years. Nice piece of wood though. Real nice. Let's see what this one's got going on. Ooh, we got some stuff. So we're getting into some kind of swirly stuff here as we get to some crotch. Exciting. And through here we got some of those burls that we're starting again. And an old limb and some bark inclusion and whatnot down here. It's getting exciting. That next one's gonna be starting to hopefully show some figure up in here. This is just swirly, well, kind of swirly kind of grain, which is start seeing the actual crotch feather start to appear soonish. Oof. Okay, let's see what 3's got going on. Looks like it's getting a little more interesting. Man, that's pretty gorgeous stuff. Oh, this is cool. That's got a big prune limb on it. Ooh. So this is really cool. You can see this one had a fairly large limb on here, pruned off, and the tree grew back around it. It's always cool being able to see like the history of the pruning of these things. Starting to get a little more into maybe crotch figure. We're getting there. You can see the grain is starting to do some weirder and weirder things. So we're getting pretty close to the actual feather, which is exciting. Down here we got a few other small old limbs here and there. We're getting close to quarter sawn down here at the bottom. You can see some of the ray fleck starting to come through on the surface. Very exciting. We should have something pretty interesting on the next one. Oh yeah. Oh, there's that crotch. There you are. Just as we get to the pith. Okay. All right, splish splash slab bath. That was not a good one. Too low of an angle. Need more loft. There we go. Get it up there in the air a little bit. So we are starting to get into some crotch figure finally. There we go. There's the start of it. It's a pretty good chunk of crotch feather, which is super exciting. You can see this here, this line, the split. That's the pith, the very center of the tree, running all the way down. So what's kind of fun with this is you can see how the tree grew over time. So this one kind of grew kind of crookedy. You can see this kind of bend in the tree. Whoop, as it was coming up. Whoop, all curvy and stuff. It's always fun to see that history in there. This is a pretty good sized prune limb. I just love this detail here. That's very cool. Down in here, we're into quarter sawn. So we're exposing those medullary rays and getting our ray fleck. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving this bit of ray fleck around here, around this knot, which produces some additional figure below it. I'm sure some of you are wondering what these lines are. That is everywhere I pause while I'm cutting to move cameras. They don't just magically, move themselves. This one I'm holding too. So, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. I think that's it. Now we are on to cutting again, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of these slabs and then back to looking at stuff again. I think we should have one more after this, which has some pretty good crotch figure in it, and then we'll start getting away from the crotch figure again and getting more to that just kind of swirly grain without that figure. Okay, here we go. All right, number 5, let's see what you got. Yeah, that was a little bit of a soaker. Oh, okay. So we're getting out past the pith area, so we're kind of getting out to the early limbs here. So a long time ago, this tree had a lot more limbs. Here's another one that was pruned off. You can see the prune cut right there, and it grew back around. And you have all the early limbs from when it was just a little tiny baby tree. But we get up here to the crotch figure. This one's got a pretty significant amount of it, which is super awesome. All that. That's nice. Okay, to get you a few dimensions on things, down here at display, I think this is about the widest point. That's 50 inches, so a little over 4 feet. That's pretty big. Down here, where it kind of narrows back to a uniform width, we're at 30. And then down here is still 30. So 30 all through here for the first, I don't know, 4 feet or so. And then you start to splay into the full width up there. Pretty big. I like it. That is nice. This is a nice log. God, it's beautiful. All right, what does number 6 got going on? Looks like we're into like rift sawn towards the outside, so we don't have any big ray fleck anymore. And we got some cathedral stuff going up the middle with some fun stuff down there. That's pretty good. Good toss. I'm just rating my own tosses. My rules. Oh, that's nice. Well, there we go. We got a little bit of the kind of past the crotch figure now. We got this kind of the wavy grain without a whole lot of depth to the figure. Just kind of some fun, interesting grain down there. And we got starting to get to some little burls or little old beginnings of burls and old limbs and stuff. But mostly clear down here. Quite nice. Okay, slab 7. Let's see what it has going on. Into the wind. And the wind really messes up my water tosses. Can't even compensate for it. Well, kind of back to swirly cathedral grain here. We're past all the crotch figure now. It's just swirlies and whatnot. We got a few kind of small knots and whatnot. Bigger knot down here and some more kind of goofy stuff going on down there. But otherwise, pretty well just clear-ish. The outsides are clear. You got all of the original limbs we're passing through here in the middle, and then clear straight grain rift sawn on the exterior. What we got going on number 8? Pretty much clear. That is quite nice, actually. Very clear. So yeah, not a whole lot going on here. We got that beginning of that burl down here, and there's that other one right here. But otherwise, clear cathedral grain. That's it for kind of the slabs. I just have my remainder here on the bed still. I think this ended up being like 6/4 or something like that. So I'll throw that one on the stack. It's not going to have a whole lot of crazy stuff going on there. Just got that one little nail hole right there, or nail in it, where that nail used to be. And this would have been what we looked at originally when we were just kind of cutting the top off the log. So this has already been looked at, but we can take a look at it again here now that we're kind of further along. Yep, remember we had that little burl kind of thing going on down there, and the other burl is up there. So got this cap piece or offcut bonus piece of wood, and then the cap can go on, and that'll be about it for this log. I love how these things look when they're sawn. There's just something cool about like all the slices. It's just awesome. All right, so another log saved from the chipper. That's where this one would have been heading. Would have headed off to the yard waste center and be tub ground into well, into grindings or chips or whatever. So I thought, since I'm answering a lot of questions this time, I'm going to address a comment that I hear a lot whenever I hear or whenever I say that these things get chipped or whatever, and that's something along the lines of, oh wow, that's crazy. That would be like something you would put in a garden or whatever. It's typically like if there's a walnut log that was chipped, how weird would it be to have walnut chips for a garden, because, you know, walnut isn't great for other plants and whatnot. And to that I say, that is like a very rare case for the destination of the chips. Typically with bulk chips like this, they're going to be sold as a biofuel, so they will be burned in a boiler somewhere to do something. If that boiler is connected to a turbine, then that's going to be a power plant, and now there's produced electricity. It could just be burned in a normal boiler to heat a building or something like that. So that's more of what happens to the chips. They get burned as biofuel. There is a nursery greenhouse thing here in the area, and that's what they do at their place. They burn all of the chips in the winter to keep the greenhouses warm so they can grow stuff. So that's the normal use case for a big semi-load of chips. Doesn't really get bagged and sold to homeowners. It's more fuel. So that is this bit of crotch log, all sawn up 2 years later, still soaking wet, still absolutely beautiful. I have 2 more logs from this load that I will saw up at some point, but you know, we're getting through the pile. It's quite large these days. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments on the sawmill or anything back in the shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.